Alright, so I'm gonna load up on some.
Okay, baby, you load up.
Give me 2 slices.
Normally when we have pizza, I'll just cook an entire pizza and then babe will have a couple slices, I'll have a couple, and then he has the rest. Is it good, baby?
Oh, yeah. So, if you're looking to join the military, of course, look at all of your options, because that can have a significant impact as far as like where you're stationed, like what you'll be doing, if you want to be like more on the coast, if you want to go travel overseas. I mean, I won't go too far in depth into that, but research your branches.
Yeah.
The next thing you want to do is be sure to research, once you've identified the branch you want to go into, research your jobs that branch offers. Of course, you can go online to like the Army's website and it'll have a description of all like the careers out there. But in any case, the next thing that you want to focus on is your physical fitness. I would highly recommend focusing on bodyweight workouts and cardio, because when you get to basic training, AIT, OSET, whatever, the biggest things that they hit on is running and doing push-ups, sit-ups. Those are the 3 main events of the Army. There is a new fitness test called the ACFT that's about to take place, but for now, all you need to know is push-ups, sit-ups, and your run. So that's the basics for entering the military. I'm going to hand it back over to my lovely wife here, and she will give y'all some advice if nursing's more your speed.
Okay. The same can be said about nursing, really. You definitely want to like research before you just hop into it, because nursing is one of those things where like you really gotta love it, you know, and there's so many different areas of it and so many different things that you can do. Like you can work in a hospital, you can work in a school, you can work for a company, like all different types of things that you can do as far as nursing goes. And it also depends on like how high a level of degree you have. So let's say you want to be a nurse, but you're not sure if you want to get like your LPN or you want to do RN. Well, I would research the hospitals that you want to work at, because 9 times out of 10 you'll find out, you know, some hospitals will prefer you to have this degree, or they may say you will be required to have this degree within X amount of years. So it's like, okay, well, if your dream hospital requires you to have a bachelor's and you're going to go to nursing school, you may as well get it out of the way, you know. So those types of things. And then I personally feel like you can go right into the area that you are interested in. I don't think that it's necessary to do like too many years of med-surg. Now, different nurses will have different opinions on this, but me personally, I feel like you can kind of get stuck if you do that. So I say stay long enough to get like the skills and to feel comfortable, but then go directly into the area where your heart is, because you're gonna love your job so much more if you're doing what you know that you signed up to do and what you enjoy doing. Baby, so as far as, I know you mentioned the physical fitness test, as far as like the ASVAB, when you like took that, do you have any advice for them on like, you know, how that went? Is there a way they can kind of prepare for it or anything like that?
Yeah. So when I took the ASVAB, I just kind of went off of the knowledge I had from high school and college to take me through that. But you can go online and do some research on it, and they have practice questions for y'all to do. So yeah, I did that like maybe a week before I took the ASVAB. Yeah, you can definitely just look up the ASVAB online and take a practice quiz or test. Or you can even go into your recruiter's office and they'll give you like a diagnostic one for you to base your current knowledge. So yeah, it's a pretty useful tool.
That sounds like it. As far as nursing, there's a couple of exams that you have to take. So the first one that I had to take to get into nursing school was called the TEAS test. As far as that one, it was just like your basic standardized tests like math and all of that. As far as studying for that, I would kind of recommend, like, what I did was a certain amount of, you know, studying each day. I kind of looked online for practice questions and things like that, and I devoted a certain amount of time to studying for it. Now, studying for boards was a completely different ball game. Like, pretty much I went from all of the, you know, the things that I learned while I was actually in practicum. So I would say I personally feel like things that you learn on the floor will help you way more than any of those. Like, they're gonna try to sell you a lot of, what do they call them, reviews. And I actually did take a review myself. I'm not gonna say what the name of the review was because I don't want to like bash anyone or anything. If anybody is truly interested in knowing what review I took that I didn't feel like helped me at all, you can definitely email me, just so that I can kind of give you a heads up, you know, on what I feel like may work for you. But yeah, I took the review, didn't really feel like it worked a lot. I honestly felt like most of the questions were just from me being on the floor. I would look at each question and I said, okay, how does this apply to the things that I've been practicing in nursing thus far? You know, and just the accumulation of the things that I had learned throughout my time in nursing school. So definitely pay attention. Definitely pay attention when you're on the floor during practicum, because that is when you're going to learn the most things that stick with you, and you're going to realize that like real world nursing and textbook nursing are completely different. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I would say. As far as advice, how long I studied for boards, I didn't overdo it. I did take them not long after nursing, after graduation, because I wanted it to be kind of fresh in my mind, but I put like a couple months between it, if that makes sense. So, and I would just study for a certain amount of time each day, and on the weekends I would go out and do fun things with my friends and kind of forget about it, and then back during the week I had a certain amount of time that I would study each day, and I feel like that's, you know, what helped me. Maybe if you like could do something differently, or, you know, one, I guess not necessarily regret, but, you know, something that you would change if somebody had told you, or if you were watching a video like this and you felt like if you knew one thing that would have made your time easier or anything like that, what would you say?
Well, 1 second, because this is really good pizza. So yeah, one piece of advice that would have made, I think, my career easier. Is that right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, when you are looking into the military, you see a lot of the plus sides, because the men and women in uniform represent their branches so well. But I think the mental preparation is something that you really have to have, because there's going to be nights when you feel absolutely just lonely, just over it, and you know, you gotta, it's a real gut check. Just remember why you wanted to join in the first place. I think that helped me a lot through my Army career, especially whenever I would be deployed overseas. I mean, this past one was a little bit like rough because there was just no notice, but you have to mentally prep for that. Like, yeah. Both you and, you know, if you're married, got a, you know, just a significant other. Yeah. Y'all both have to be on board. Mm-hmm. Like, when you go into the military, both you and your significant other are in the military. Yeah, I think that's important, baby. Mm-hmm. Like, you definitely, if there's somebody that you really truly care about, like deeply care about, and maybe they say they don't want you to go, or they're worried about it, you definitely want to think about, like, okay, and like really discuss if this person is someone that you like see yourself spending your life with. I mean, that's a pretty big commitment, because like Sean said, it's going to be both of you. Like, while you're away, your spouse is going to have to hold things down. Like, it can be emotionally draining for both of you. There's so much that goes into it, so definitely it needs to be a decision that is made as a unit. Yeah. So like, anytime we get free time like we have right now, we make sure we spend it together. Make sure you do that. Little foot rubs, or little remember that little pasta night we had turned into a romantic date? Yeah. Because once you're a military family, it's a lot of fun, and it's really rough. What Sean was saying about thinking about, you know, exactly what you're doing when you're getting in. The same thing goes for nursing. Like, it's more than just a sexy Halloween costume. Like,
there are so many unglamorous parts to nursing, and you have to, that's why I said, like, if you're going to become a nurse, you need to really want that. If it becomes too much emotionally, change your area. You can always change your area. Like, you know, that's one of the beautiful things about it. You can move around. So don't stay anywhere where it's like too much for you. Different people can handle different things, you know. We all process things differently. So, you know, you may not do very well seeing like patients who are just very, very sick all the time. Like, that was one of the jobs that I did. Like, patients are sick all the time. Like, ICU step down patients, like, just, you know, not really the patients who are like, oh, hey, how are you, sweetie? You know, like when you go in the room. So sometimes it's nice to have a switch up, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're not a bad nurse if you just feel like, you know, I cannot do it. That is how you can avoid burnout, in my opinion, because there's this thing that we call burnout, which basically means that you're tired of it. Like, you don't like going to work. It's kind of like
it's a chore.
Yeah, it's like a chore. Nothing, and it's not something that you enjoy anymore. And nobody wants, you know, their job to feel like that, right? So before it becomes like that, just move around, switch it up, you know, put in some applications, try out different things. Don't give up on it completely. I've had a few friends actually who just gave up on nursing completely, and that is also okay. You know, if you just decide that it's not for you anymore. I mean, that's the beauty of being human, and, you know, having that freedom to do whatever it is that you feel like will make you happy. So if you want to quit nursing and open a boutique, then good luck and more power to you, you know. So I just think that you have to be careful not to, like, you are a nurse, but it's not all that you are. So you have to make sure that you keep your own individuality in there, because, you know, for me, I've always been like an emotional person. Like, I feel things, and so if there's a patient that's especially sad, or they have a sad story or a sad case, it's like, you know, it touches me. And I've never wanted it to be like, oh, I just want to leave everything at work, but I also don't want it to weigh down on me when I'm just like sitting here having dinner with my husband. So, you know, you just have to get a good balance. And like I said, if you need assistance in finding that balance, whether it's talking to someone or finding out what else you can do not be ashamed of doing that. As long as it's not interfering with your ability to do your job, it is completely okay.
Yeah, sure. And there's there's a lot of emotions you're going to experience when you join the military, and some of them may not be so good. You know, the days when that's the case, there's different programs in the Army to make sure that if you aren't feeling okay, you can get yourself back on your feet and get yourself the mental respite that you need. So yeah, be sure to take advantage of all the
resources.
Yeah, all the resources. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, a lot of soldiers, it's so sad, will succumb to you know, the issues that they have because they're afraid to speak up. They're worried about judgment from their chain of command.
Yeah.
Don't worry about judgment. Most people will understand. Most people want to help you.
If you become a nurse, please, please, I am begging you, do not eat your young. I don't know if you guys know what that expression means, but they say nurses eat their young, and I'm sad to say it can be somewhat true. So basically, baby nurses, which I love baby nurses, so if there's any baby nurses watching this, like, virtual hug for you guys. Keep up the good work. But there are some nurses who, you know, and I'm sure there's people like that in every career, but they just don't want to be bothered. Maybe they've got like 20-25 years under their belt and things are already different and changing, and, you know, here comes a fresh new little baby nurse, and like she has to ask you all these questions and whatnot. Like, try to just be the nurse that people feel comfortable coming to, because at the end of the day, like, we're all in it for the same reasons, to take care of the patients, right? So if somebody needs help, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, she always needs help, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's the patient that suffers. So just make sure that you're one of those nurses that, like, is always open to help. Even if maybe you don't exactly know how to do it. You say, you know, well, I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but if you tell me how I can help you, I'd be more than happy to. And then of course, you know, if you're kind of dealing with your own thing, maybe your load is heavy, you know, you just don't have the time, that is okay too. But it's a team effort. Like, nursing is a 24-hour job. We just change out shifts. So it should never be like, oh, that's her job, or it's his job, he'll do it when he comes back. Like, I try not to be like that, and I try to make things as easy as possible. So like the small things, guys, if you see somebody's fluid bag, you know how we hang fluids, maybe they have like 100 left in there and it's the end of your shift, but just, you know, like getting an extra bag prepped for them, you know, will be all like, could be all the help in the world when they're running, trying to get their meds going at the start of shift, and they see that extra bag that you already got ready for them, or you already primed it. Like, that just means so much, and it just makes you like, you literally stand there and smile like, thank you for taking a little bit time out of your day, you know, before you left, to kind of make my start of my day a little bit easier. So definitely do things like that. And I feel like Sean kind of in the military, things like that, you can help each other out as well. I'm sure. So I don't know what all kinds of advice you guys have. We know we've been getting a lot of questions on like, can you give advice? I'm thinking of joining, can you give advice? I'm thinking of going to school. So we've kind of tried to touch on a few of our biggest things. But like Sean said, I did notice that we gotten a few questions about like being concerned about the long distance relationship aspect as far as your job. So
I'm still got my full picture.
I will speak from the wife's standpoint. It can be very difficult for sure, but it's just one of those things where you kind of have to, you know, just be the backbone for him while he's away, or for her while she's away if you're a husband that has an active duty spouse. But you know, it's just one of those things where like you get better with time, and you kind of develop a system that works for you, you know, the two of you. A lot of things Sean and I have done, we've shared with you guys already. Some of the things that we've done to make long distance a little bit easier, and we'll link one of our videos somewhere where we've spoken on things we've done when we're separated. But yeah, do you have any other advice for them, baby? I know baby is probably like ready to wrap this video up so he can really enjoy the rest of this chicken.
No, I've been enjoying it, babe. I've been tearing it up over there. So yeah, and you're gonna hear this a lot in the military too, especially during your weekend safety breaks. Just to piggyback off of what my wife said. I'm sorry. Anyways, don't. What was it? What was that term? Don't kill your young.
Don't eat your young.
Oh, don't eat your young. Yeah. So you're gonna be the new private whenever you get to your unit. It depends on the atmosphere. It depends on the MOS. Just be ready for that, because the new guy, it's an experience. Okay. Just be ready for that. Don't take anything personally. You can be sweet and gentle with your spouse back home, but remember, you're there to be in the right place, right time, right uniform, and good can-do attitude. So yeah, the guys that have been at a unit for a little while, like, you know, myself, when you see a new guy, you know, take him in, show him the ropes, set him up for success, because you don't want to see any of your guys in your unit struggling. It doesn't make for a strong team when you're ready to go out into the field, out on deployment. You want every single soldier to want to have your 6. So intentionally making them feel bad, or intentionally just, you know, doing the most, I'll just put it as nicely as I can, like, just because they're new, that doesn't really help build your esprit de corps, doesn't build up your team, it doesn't make you an effective leader.
I noticed that you mentioned that you can be like sweet and gentle with your spouse, and then like you have to be able to turn on like the So a lot of people have made comments like they don't see, like, Sean is so sweet, he's such a sweet guy, like how does he, I can't picture him like in mode, and I'm like, So at work you're trained to be like mean, like tough, rough, you know.
Yeah.
How do you keep from like letting that mean, tough roughness spill over into the way that you interact with me? So I know a lot of people have been curious about how you're like the doting, loving husband, and then you're obviously a very different way at work when you need to be. So How do you do that, baby?
Well, when I'm home, I have a marriage that I am committed to making this woman happy. You know, those are my vows. Like that's I guess the enlistment that I signed up for when I married you. I signed my name on the dotted line to make her happy. You know, whenever you leave work, cut that off, because at the end of the day, what like wins her over is foot rubs and sweet romantic movie nights, watching Disney movies. Like,
baby, you make me sound like such a diva.
You're not a diva, babe. I'm just saying.
Give me foot rubs and play Disney movies now.
Hush, our pet is a diva. But anyways.
Look how she's looking at you.
She stopped wagging her tail. Alright, so I mean, the point I'm trying to make is like, when you go home, it's all about you and your significant other. Y'all have fun. Like, don't take things too seriously. Yeah. So whenever you go to work, keep it away. Whenever you come home, go into home mode. It's not hard. Well, I mean, at least, maybe in my opinion.
Give her a foot rub and she wants it. And play Disney movies.
Play Disney movies. It's never been hard to just be sweet and caring and loving. I don't know. We've always been a very like open, honest, and emotional couple. We're not scared of that. I mean, you shouldn't be like embarrassed of that. It's your relationship, and you know, I don't care if anybody thinks that I'm too soppy.
Yeah, that was another thing I was gonna say.
Yeah,
like,
don't care what other people think. Like, I do not give a crap if some dude at my unit is like, oh, you know, you and your wife, y'all are so, you know, oh, that's so mushy. I'm sorry, bro. Like, actually, you know what? I'm not sorry. Like, I'm happy. At the end of the day, like, I'm happy. So that's what matters. Don't care about what other people think. I mean, jeez.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be hard all the freaking time to be in the military.
Yeah.
Like, jeez. Anyways.
Yeah.
Rant over.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, for sure. And whenever Sean comes back home from like when he's been like, I know, in an especially stressful situation or an especially dangerous area, like I never really probe him like, what did you see? What did you do? What happened? You know, but I kind of try to give him like the space to be like, oh, hey babe, like let's talk for a little bit, you know. And we just, like he said, we had like an open communication relationship built on honesty and trust, where it's like I can be completely honest with you. Like, maybe I feel sad today. Okay, baby, why do you feel sad? Do you want to tell me? Do you feel like you want to tell me why you're feeling sad? Or is it something that you can't tell me? You know, things like that we like to kind of talk about, because I feel like it helps us keep like our relationship whole. Because, you know, he doesn't feel like he can't tell me something, or maybe I've had a bad day at work and I'm just like, you know, quiet, and he's like, hey baby, like, you know, you okay? And I'm like, no, you know, it was a hard day with the patient today, and then we talk about it. So never feel like, you know, you're to a point where you can't talk about things with your spouse. Of course, as far as the military perspective, for those of you that are planning on joining, there will be some things that you cannot tell your spouse. And again, that'll just have to be one of the things that you know, seriously consider. Is it going to be something that I can do? Like, is my spouse going to be okay with me not, you know, being able to tell them things, or is this going to create issues for us? You know, things like that. So, you know, you just kind of have to weigh everything as it pertains to your relationship. I definitely feel like, I know that like a lot of people feel like for the military, like your country comes first. So in a way, I would say that that is accurate, but at the same time, I feel like at the end of the day, like, serving is something that you do, it's something that you love, but it is a job. And just like nursing, taking care of people is something that I do, something that I love, but it is a job. These are our careers. So at the end of the day, what we really have when we come home is each other. So we're never going to do anything that we feel like is going to ruin our marriage or our relationship, because ultimately that's what matters the most to us. So if something seems like it's interfering or getting in the way in any way, then for us personally, we, you know, eliminate it, right? So yeah, I would say as far as nursing, when you're choosing where you're gonna be, make sure you choose a place where you feel happy. Like when you walk in, it feels like home. There's a nice group of people that you're going to be working with. There's a nice, you know, management team. They're supportive. They're hands-on. Make sure that you check all of that out. I know a lot of people, the first things they want to inquire about, like, are the hours or the money. Like, I want to know, how does management work? You know, how often are you on the floor? How many nurses are working at a time? How many patients am I going to be expected to take care of? Like, make sure that you ask the things that will affect you overall as well. Yeah.
I've gotten to experience some pretty cool stuff being in the military, you know. Others see more exotic places. I've seen Afghanistan and Iraq, and being able to say that I've been there is pretty cool.
I will say that as far as Sean's MOS, I personally, being a military wife, a lot of times military wives get to kind of go and see different exciting things too. If you really, what you're wanting is to travel, then you definitely want to look into that too, because we haven't necessarily gotten to go to many exotic places together. Sean is in a specialized unit, like a highly specialized unit, and they're only based in a couple of places. So that's why we've been here for quite a while. And yeah, if you want to be moving around more, we haven't necessarily had like the tons of PCS moves experience. No,
we've pretty much been in one place for the entirety of the career. Love you, baby.
Love you. You taste chicken?
I taste pizza and chicken. It's good. So yeah, is there anything else you have for advice for anybody wanting to get into nursing out there, babe?
No, I think I pretty much have touched on what I personally feel to be the most important things.
Right. I will also say this, cherish every single moment you have with everybody that you come into contact through the military, because remember, not everybody makes it home. At the end of the day, you have to realize it is, you know, there is a risk involved. I mean, there's a risk involved in nursing. Just appreciate your time with everybody. Look out for them. Because it is a risky career field. No matter, there's no simple way to cut it. It's, you know, nothing's a guarantee. So we just, you know, we thank God for the safety and the fact that, you know, the last 2 deployments I've been on, everybody's come home. So I mean, thank God for that. I think we kind of covered it.
I think so.
Alright guys, so we hope you've enjoyed this video. We have
devoured.
I am stuffed.
Me too, baby, and we have chicken left.
I'm going to have to work out to work this banquet off.
We're going to do our couples quarantine workout.
We're going to do our couples quarantine workout. Be sure to check that video out. It is also a way to show that we are hardcore and also sweet at the same time. Anything that we might have missed, if you have any questions like that, feel free to comment in the section below. And babe, anything else?
No, like Sean said, just feel free to comment if there's a specific question that you have that we maybe didn't touch on, or if there's another video that you guys would like Sean and I to do together as far as pertaining to our careers. Definitely let us know. And you know, you never know, we might try to do it.
Alright, until next time.
Alright.
Later.